Good morning, friends and family. How are you doing? I just want to touch on a subject that I was made aware of, that the Lincoln County Commissioners are looking at creating an exotics ban. Um, there's a lot of folks that think, oh, an exotic is like is something like a tiger, cheetah, blah, blah, blah. But what a lot of folks don't realize, exotics are your bearded dragons, your geckos. They can even qualify as fish, turtles, um, ball pythons, boas, reticulated pythons. So when you have a whole county that wants to put an exotics ban on animals, I have to disagree. I am an owner and have been an owner of bearded dragons, ball pythons, reticulated pythons, iguanas. These are all what you would consider exotic animals. Now, Florida has the FTC. They have bans on a lot of exotic animals. Now, in Florida, they have the habitat for these animals to, if they were to get out, they could reproduce, because the habitat mimics the habitat in their home environment. Now, if a reticulated python, a ball python, iguana, bearded dragon, they could not survive our winters. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, these animals live in humid, some live in dry environments, but very high temperatures, like in the 80s and 90s, and that has to be all year long. They cannot, and yes, I know somebody's going to come in here and say, well, bearded dragons go into brumation, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they do. But they could not survive our harsh winters here that get down into the teens. So this is all misguided, in my opinion, and I have also been told the founder of hats in Linconton is the one pushing this. Well, the education needs to be brought out that these so-called exotic animals that they're wanting banned could not survive our winters. So with that being said, why even put a ban on it? And folks, if you allow them to put a ban on this, they're gonna try to push it and put in a ban on breeds, or a ban on this, a ban on how many of this you can own. And I'm sorry, I'm just not for that. And just because a ball python or a bearded dragon or iguana may not be your cup of tea, doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't like those animals and raise those animals and love those animals. So be mindful when you go to vote, and also contact your Lincoln County commissioners, because knowing habitat and what they can reproduce in is key to asking for exotic bans. And, also exotic bans can go as far as some types of birds. So, again, if those types of animals could reproduce here, that would be one thing if they got out. But they cannot, most exotics cannot survive our winters here. And that's where a lot of people are misguided and think, oh, well, I don't want that living next to me, because if it gets out, come on. And I'm extremely disappointed if the founder of hats in Lincoln County is behind this. I'm extremely disappointed in this. There are a lot of people that house and keep exotic animals, and your local PetSmart and Petco sell them. So education needs to be brought forth on what these animals are, what they can live in, the environments they can live in, and knowing that they couldn't live here. They couldn't survive a winter. So if, say, a ball python got out, 9 times out of 10, they, once it started getting cold, they cannot survive. They do not have the abilities to survive here and know how to make it through the harsh winters. They are not a snake that is from here. They're from Africa. So I'm highly against an exotic ban, and I will be emailing the Lincoln County town commissioners regarding this. And hats, if you are involved, come on, really? Um, just know what you're talking about and know what you're fighting for when you're fighting for things of this nature, and know what they're going to classify as exotic. Because a lot of exotics are sold at your local pet stores. And that's going to cause quite a dilemma in Lincoln County, because I know a lot of people that own ball pythons, bearded dragons, geckos, exotic birds, exotic fish, turtles, you name it. Anything, they use the term exotic too for people to think, oh, it's some extravagant animal that doesn't need, you know what I mean? And a lot of times that's not the case. It's used for clickbait and to get people to say, oh, I don't want that here, without the education and knowledge, knowing that, we're not Florida. They can't survive here. They would never be able to survive a winter. And knowledge is power. And make sure you educate yourself before you go to that voting booth. And if you're a Lincoln County commissioner and you're for this, I'm highly disappointed in you, because at the end of the day, people's rights and rights to own animals, as long as they're owned correctly, are their prerogative. And I hope y'all have a blessed day, and peace out.